A quiet, awkward man walks into a high school on his first day as a chemistry teacher. The principal warns him the students here chew up new teachers and spit them out. But when Lin Mo steps into the classroom, they are polite and smiling, and he decides the principal was exaggerating. Then two girls ask permission to go to the infirmary. Minutes later, one of them runs back in a panic, saying her friend has collapsed in the science lab. Lin Mo throws open the door and finds nothing on the floor but a mannequin lying there like a bad joke, because that is exactly what it is. Behind him, the door slams and the lock clicks, and the students set a fire near the ventilation duct so the smoke pours into the sealed room. Out in the hallway, they are laughing. What they do not know is that the man they just locked in a chemistry lab has a sense of smell that borders on inhuman and a mind that treats chemicals the way a locksmith treats keys. Within minutes, the lock is melting. Lin Mo walks out through his own escape route and calmly explains to the stunned students exactly which compounds he used and why. Because Lin Mo is not just a chemistry teacher. By day, he stands at a whiteboard in a rumpled shirt. By night, he works as a cleaner, one of the most dangerous jobs in the criminal underworld. He walks into a murder scene and rebuilds it. He moves a body, adjusts an angle, plants a detail, erases a trace, and turns a killing into an accident, a suicide, or nothing at all. And that is only where his story begins. Sometime later, Lin Mo takes a leave from teaching and turns up in Bangkok, sent to help the police with a string of bizarre deaths nobody can explain. The chief had wanted Tang Ren, the famous detective who happens to be Lin Mo's mentor. But Tang Ren is buried in a case in America, so the chief gets the apprentice instead, and he does not hide his disappointment. Then Lin Mo, without touching a file, recites the chief's entire morning back to him. Where he has been, what he ate, all of it read off the traces clinging to the man's clothes and skin. The chief goes very quiet, assigns Lin Mo a sharp young partner named Sasha, and hands them the case. The first victim is not really a victim yet. A woman named Wen claims someone pushed her onto the train tracks at a subway station. She insists there was a person behind her, but the security footage shows nobody near her at all. The only witness who reached her was standing far away and did not realize anything had happened until he heard her screaming. The second case is worse. A young woman named Shui went up to the roof of her apartment building and stepped off. But before she jumped, the cameras caught something strange. Shui was dancing on that roof. A slow, deliberate, ceremonial dance, performed alone in the dark. Her husband, Qin Yun, tells them a story out of a horror film. Shui had been unraveling for weeks. She was hearing chanting with no source. She was hallucinating. She was on antidepressants, and she had turned on him, threatening him, terrified of things nobody else could see. Desperate, he took her to a temple. They never made it inside. Before they reached the grounds, the sleeve of Shui's clothing burst into flame. No candle, no spark. No reason. They fled home without praying. On the night she died, Qin Jun says he took sleeping pills and went to bed early. In the morning, the guards told him his wife was already dead. Sasha feels for him. Lin Mo is watching him very differently, because something in that grief does not smell right. While the others talk, Lin Mo wanders into Shui's bedroom and finds an old photograph. 4 teenage girls, arms around each other, grinning at the camera. One of them is Shui. Another one, unmistakably, is Wen, the woman who was pushed onto the train tracks. Qinjun says his wife went to Looming High School years ago, but claims he never knew any of her old classmates. Then Lin Mo climbs to the roof, stands where Shui stood, and performs the same dance step for step, copied from the footage. It is a mandala dance, a ritual prayer for protection from Brahma. A woman who was about to kill herself was up there, begging a god to keep her safe. Later at the office of Shui's psychiatrist, something tips Lin Mo over, and he collapses under a wave of memory. He is a small boy again, watching his mother being murdered in front of him. Whatever this case is, it has already reached into the oldest wound he has. That night, Lin Mo and Sasha go to see Wen at the cafe where she sings. Her boss, Sula, tells them about an incident a week earlier. Wen was on stage when handprints began to appear on her throat, red marks pressing in from nowhere. She started thrashing and choking in front of a room full of customers, as if invisible fingers were around her neck. Sula was so frightened she brought monks in to cleanse the cafe. Lin Mo shows Wen the photograph. She recognizes it instantly. The 4 of them were roommates in high school and have stayed close ever since, and she refuses to believe Shui killed herself. In her eyes, Shui had the perfect life. Then Sasha's phone rings. Another woman has reported the same kind of impossible events. Her name is Dinan, and she is the 3rd girl in that photograph. At her house, Dinan says she has been waking in the night, floating above her own bed. She has found handprints on her ceiling. and she has been hearing the same chanting. When Lin Mo tells her Wen and Shui went through nearly identical experiences, she grabs her phone to warn the fourth girl, Jaya. Jaya is already in the hospital, thin and hollow-eyed. It started with a rattling sound from the apartment above hers. Then she began finding prayer beads everywhere. Then one night, beads erupted out of her sink in a torrent, and dozens of hands rose up behind her and closed around her throat. She barely survived, and it was Wen who brought her here. Wen says Jaya was always the weakest of them, the one they protected. And only a few days before Shui died, all four of them attended a school reunion together, where Shui was cheerful and completely normal, which is why nobody can accept that she jumped. That night, driving home together, Wen and Deanan hear the radio shriek with static, and the car accelerates on its own. The brakes are dead. Wen throws herself out of the door seconds before the car goes off the road into the river. Deanan survives, and when she is pulled out, she says that while she was swimming back to the surface, she looked down through the water and saw an enormous statue of Brahma staring back. Wen admits she has been seeing images of Brahma too. She just did not want to say it out loud. That is when Wen finally tells them what really connects the four of them. Years ago, as teenagers, the four girls promised they would all go to Bangkok University together. They prayed to Brahma for it. Then everything fell apart. All four caught typhoid fever, all four missed the entrance exams, and all four of their futures died in the same week. Deanan was so furious that she cursed Brahma out loud and blamed him for ruining their lives. Now, 20 years later, she is convinced Brahma has come to collect, and the chief is starting to believe her. The mechanics find nothing wrong with Deanan's car, no brake failure at all. Then Wen nearly gets crushed by a falling billboard, and that is the last straw. The chief starts talking about shutting the investigation down. You cannot arrest a god. Lin Mo does not believe a word of it. He goes up to the roof where the billboard collapsed and finds exactly what he expected. The support pole did not snap. It was cut. Somebody sawed through it in advance, waited for Wen to walk underneath, and tried to kill her with several tons of falling metal. Whatever is happening to these women, it has fingerprints on it. So Lin Mo goes back to Looming High School, the school these four women attended, and the same school where, years later, he stood in front of a class pretending to be an ordinary teacher. The principal fills in the gaps. Wen, Deanan, and Jaya all came from poor families. Shui was the exception. Shui came from money, and then there was Peishan. Back in school, Wen confessed her feelings to a boy named Peishan, and he rejected her publicly in the cruelest way a teenage boy can. Shui was so angry on Wen's behalf that she threw a glass of water in his face. After that, the whole school froze Peishan out, and he spent the rest of his time there alone. Lin Mo hurries Sasha out before they attract attention, and he has good reason. He was not just a teacher here, he was a legend. The moment the students recognize him, the campus erupts and he has to escape his own fan club. Over dinner, Lin Mo starts pulling threads, beginning with the fire at the temple. You can make cloth ignite on its own if you coat it in advance with phosphorus powder, which lights up in hot conditions with no flame required. No god, just chemistry, which means somebody was standing close enough to Shui to prepare her clothes. The next day at Shui's funeral, Lin Mo's nose catches something that changes everything. Wen and Qin Jun are carrying almost the same scent. Not similar, nearly identical. The kind of overlap you only get from two people who have recently spent a long time in the same enclosed space, breathing the same air. Qin Jun, who swore he had never met any of his wife's old friends. Before Lin Mo can act on that, a man bursts out of the crowd with a knife and lunges at Qin Jun. Lin Mo stops the blade, but the man escapes. He chases him and loses him, but he does not need a face. He caught a scent, a distinct medicinal smell, and he has smelled it once before, on the roof where the billboard support was cut. He knows who it belongs to, Peishan. He also calls Qin Jun's dental clinic and learns the shattered widower has not been home grieving at all. He has been out again and again while pretending to be too broken to function. At Peishan's house, they find old yearbooks and photographs, an entire shrine to a time he never left behind. But one detail stops Lin Mo cold. Every classmate signed the yearbook except one. Shui wrote nothing. Instead, tucked inside the pages are perfume testing strips carrying 2 cents. Rose and lemon, and Lin Mo suddenly understands the boy who broke Wen's heart. Peishan rejected Wen because Peishan had been in love with Shui the whole time. They find him at Shui's grave, and Lin Mo tells him something he never let himself hope for. Shui loved him back. She buried it and let it go because Wen was her friend. Peishan admits to the attack at the funeral. He wanted revenge because he is certain Qin killed her. At the reunion a few days before her death, he and Shui found each other again and started an affair. She confided in him that her marriage was a shell and that she suspected Qin was cheating. And if Shui dies, Qin inherits everything. But then Peishan says something that detonates the case. The friendship between those four women was a lie. Wen, Dinan, and Jaya did not love Shui. They resented her. They thought she was arrogant, that every expensive gift she handed them was a way of reminding them how far beneath her they had fallen. Peishan once overheard them tearing Shui apart behind her back, laughing at her, then smiling in her face the next day. So Lin Mo and Sasha go to the reunion venue, where a waitress catches his attention because she is wearing perfume that costs more than she makes in a year. Under pressure, she folds. That night, she overheard Wen and her friends mocking Shui and then throwing away the expensive gifts Shui had just given them. The waitress quietly took them home. Then the call comes. Dinan is dead. She went off the balcony of her own apartment, and there was one witness. Wen is a wreck when they arrive. She says Dinan had started suffering the same haunting as Shui, that she snapped and attacked her, hands around her throat, and that in the struggle, Dinan went over the railing. Lin Mo watches her perform because that is exactly what it is. The grief is too big, the timing is too clean, and the tears are too perfectly placed, so he tells her to stop, and he lays it out. Wen conspired with Qin, with Dinan, and with Jaya to murder Shui. Then Dinan learned too much, or wanted too much, and Wen silenced her. Wen denies everything, and without hard evidence, the police have to let her walk out the door. They race to the hospital for Jaya, and she is already gone, checked out that morning. They race to the airport, and her plane is already in the air. Two of them dead, one fleeing the country, and the last one walking free. So Lin Mo finally explains how a woman with no supernatural powers whatsoever haunted an entire police department. The possession at the cafe, Wen staged it. She had applied a phenolphthalein solution to her own neck, an indicator that changes color under the right conditions. Then she sabotaged the cafe's air conditioning, and when the environment shifted, the solution bloomed red across her throat in shapes that looked exactly like strangling handprints. She did the choking herself. The audience supplied the terror, the subway platform. There is a recess beneath the edge of that platform, a gap large enough for a person to press into and survive. Wen never needed a rescuer because she was never in danger. She hid where nobody thought to look. The cameras showed nobody pushing her because nobody pushed her. The car in the river. Dinan was a champion swimmer in high school. Driving into water was survivable for her, and she knew it. And the detail that gave the whole thing away was Dinan's phone. It still worked perfectly afterward, even though it was not waterproof and supposedly went under with the car. Which means it never went into the water, which means Dinan handed it to Wen before she deliberately drove into the river. Every miracle was theater. Wen, Dinan, and Jaya built it together, event by event, to convince the police they were being hunted by something no investigation could touch, even the billboard. Sasha was dragged along on purpose, so a police officer could witness with her own eyes that the threat against Wen was real. And the man who cut the support pole was Qin himself, which means he was in it from the beginning. Qin, who supposedly slept through his wife's death. Qin, who claimed he never heard the chanting. He heard it. He was orchestrating it. He dusted her sleeve with phosphorus at the temple. He spent months convincing his own wife she was being haunted, so that when she died, the world would believe she jumped. Lin Mo and Sasha pulled the security footage from the afternoon before Shui's death. And there is Qin, wheeling in a large new cabinet. He had explained it away as extra storage. It was not storage. It was transport. Here is how the murder actually worked. Qin smuggled Wen into the building inside that cabinet, so she never appeared on a single camera. That night, Wen came out of hiding wearing Shui's clothes and a wig cut to match her hair. Then she walked out of the apartment on purpose, directly into the view of the cameras, so the recording would show Shui alive and walking to the roof. And while the fake Shui performed the mandala dance up there, the real Shui was already unconscious. Qin had given her a heavy dose of her antidepressant medication. The dance ends. Wen steps off the roof. At the exact same moment, 18 floors up, Qin throws his sedated wife off their balcony. The camera sees a woman in Shui's clothes leap from the roof. The ground receives Shui's body. 2 events, 1 story, and no witness alive to tell the difference, because Wen was never going to die. Below the point where she jumped, there was a large concrete platform, close enough that anyone leaping from there would land safely. That platform should have exposed the whole trick the second anyone studied the footage. But Chin Jun destroyed the building's computer system afterward, and everyone assumed a grieving husband had smashed the place up in his despair. It is a beautiful theory, but a theory does not put anyone in a cell, so the police give Lin Mo and Sasha exactly 1 week to turn it into evidence. They dig. They turn up suspicious transactions running through Chin Jun's accounts, and then something better. Security footage of Deenan quietly following Chin Jun around the city. Deenan had been building a file, and she used it against when Lin Mo hands Deenan's phone to an IT specialist and tells him to recover everything deleted from it, and then the clock runs out. Wen and Chin Jun are boarding a flight to Singapore at 3 in the afternoon, and the data recovery is not finished. In a few hours, they will be in another country with another jurisdiction and a fortune to disappear into. So Lin Mo drives to the airport and does something insane. He builds a bomb scare. Within the hour, every flight is grounded, the terminal is in chaos, and the police are dragging Lin Mo away in handcuffs. As they haul him past the departure gates, he turns and smiles at Wen and Chin Jun because their plane is going nowhere. Then Sasha appears through the furious crowd with the recovered evidence and arrests them both. Jaya is picked up soon after, and Jaya is the one who talks. She confesses that after the reunion, she, Wen, and Deenan met up in secret without Shui, and she confesses what they really felt about the woman they had smiled at all evening. They hated her. They blamed her for everything because Shui was the one who caught typhoid first. Shui was the one who passed it to the rest of them. Shui was the reason all 4 of them missed the exams that would have given them a future. Except Shui had money, so Shui got to go abroad and build a life anyway. The other 3 were left with a high school certificate, unstable work, and 20 years of watching the gap widen. Every gift Shui handed them felt like a knife. Then Wen lit the fuse. She told them that years ago Shui had prayed to Brahma and asked the god to take her friend's luck and fortune and give it all to her. Deenan and Jaya believed her. That was the moment the 3 of them turned on Shui for good. Jaya swears she never agreed to murder. She thought they were only going to frighten Shui. And then Sasha says the thing that breaks the whole case open. Shui loved them. All along, because every one of those expensive gifts, the ones they threw in a bin at a restaurant, matched something each of them had written in their high school yearbooks about what they wanted one day. Shui had remembered. For 20 years, she remembered every wish those girls made as teenagers, and she had quietly been buying them, one by one, trying to give her friends the futures they never got. They were not insults. They were apologies. In custody, Chin Jun cracks. He says Shui looked down on him, that she was planning to divorce him, even though every bot he lived on was hers. Then he met Wen, and Wen listened, and Wen made him feel like a man again. They planned it together, and Wen, sitting across from him, tells him coldly that she was using him from the first day, and that once the inheritance cleared, she had already planned to kill him too. She admits the rest. Deenan found out about the affair and threatened to hand them to the police unless she was paid 500 million baht. Wen was never going to pay. When she learned Deenan had recorded evidence on her phone, she went to take it by force. The 2 women fought, and Wen pushed her off the balcony and deleted every file she could find. After his release from jail, Lin Mo visits Wen one last time, and she turns on him with real venom, because in her mind, Deenan's death is his fault. It was Lin Mo who mentioned the matching scent. That is what made Deenan start following Chin Jun. That is what got her killed. Then Sasha asks the only question that still matters. Did Shui really pray for all of their luck to be given to her? Wen says she cannot remember. But the truth comes back anyway, in a memory of a girl kneeling in front of Brahma years ago. Shui never asked for their fortune. All she asked for was a future where she and her 3 best friends could stay together and be happy for the rest of their lives. She got everything she prayed for, and it killed her. Now the story goes backward to the years before Bangkok, when Lin Mo was still working as a cleaner, because there is something about him nobody in that Bangkok station ever learned. Lin Mo does not just read a crime scene with his nose. He can see the dead. The victims linger, and they leave clues behind for him in the room where they died, and he has been reading them since he was a child. Teaching was never a career, it was camouflage. He keeps a hideout, a secret laboratory where the walls are covered in files and photographs about one thing: Smiley Face. Smiley Face is the syndicate that employs him. It is the syndicate that employed his mentor, Lao Yu, the man who trained him. And when the 2 of them broke the organization's rules, Smiley Face executed Lao Yu as a lesson. Ever since that day, Lin Mo has stayed inside the machine, doing its dirty work and waiting, because it is the only way to get close enough to find the person at the top. Elsewhere in Bangkok, a rookie officer named Sasha stands in an apartment looking at a dead man named Day, hanging inside a room locked from the inside. Her superior, a blunt and ambitious man called Dulang, takes one look and calls it suicide. Case closed. But Sasha cannot let it go. Something in that room is wrong, and she knows it. She has no idea how right she is, because that crime scene was built. Lin Mo was there before the police, and Lin Mo knew perfectly well that Day was murdered. He arranged every detail of that room himself. The next day, the principal brings a new transfer student into Lin Mo's classroom. Her name is An Chi. She is shy, awkward, a little strange, the kind of girl who instantly becomes an easy target, and within days she is accused of theft. A student named May says An Chi stole her money, and there it is, sitting in An Chi's locker in front of the whole class. Nobody believes her denials. Lin Mo does because he can smell May's hand cream inside that locker. He reconstructs the trick in front of everyone. That morning, May greeted An Chi as a friend and quietly swapped the padlocks. Later, she opened the locker with her own key, planted the money, and swapped the locks back. A perfect little frame, undone by a cent. May crumbles, and Lin Mo agrees not to call the police if she apologizes in front of the whole class. And she looks up at the teacher, who defended her with something like gratitude. Remember her face. That night, Lin Mo's phone lights up with a message, and there is nothing on the screen but a smiling emoticon. Smiley face has work for him. He is driving to the scene when an old man in a wheelchair blocks the road, struggling to get across. Lin Mo is on the clock, so he gets out, pushes the wheelchair to the far curb, and drives away. And the moment his taillights vanish, the old man stands up out of the wheelchair. He does not need it. He never did. Then he draws a knife. The job is in a room at the top of Shanghai Tower, and the client is already dead on the floor. His name is Kunta. The wounds tell Lin Mo the killer was extraordinarily skilled with a blade. The room tells him Kunta was a writer, and the air tells him something strange, a lingering trace of a rare handmade perfume, far too distinctive for a scene like this. He finds a business card for a flower shop, pockets it, and wonders why Smiley Face would waste a professional assassin on a man like this. He never gets to touch the body. Sirens. Dulang and half his officers were already inside the tower at a celebration when the call came in. Lin Mo throws something through the window, and the police charge in at the sound of shattering glass, convinced the killer went out that way, while Lin Mo stands flat behind the door and slips into the corridor. They catch the trick almost immediately, and the chase runs floor after floor until Lin Mo dives into a crowded bar and disappears into the crowd. And as he runs, we finally see where he came from. 13 years old, an orphanage, a mother in the ground. One night the boy runs away, and while he is running, he stumbles into something he was never supposed to see. A man crouched over a fresh murder scene, cleaning it. That man is Lao Yu. Lao Yu tells the boy to get out. Instead, the boy walks in and starts helping, instinctively, correctly, as though he had been born knowing how a room like that ought to be arranged. Lao Yu understands he is looking at something rare, so he takes the boy in and raises him into the trade. The next morning, Kunta's wife comes to identify the body. Her name is Ivy, and she is devastated. She tells Dulang her husband could not have had enemies. He was a writer. He barely left the house. Then Lin Mo walks into the flower shop on the business card he found beside her husband's corpse. And the woman behind the counter is Ivy. She is a florist. She is also a perfumer who makes her own fragrances. And the scent she is wearing is exactly the rare perfume Lin Mo smelled in the room where her husband died. He should be interrogating her. Instead, he stands there staring, so completely undone by her that his nose starts to bleed and she has to hand him a handkerchief. Before he leaves, Ivy asks him to write down his phone number, saying she might sell him a bottle of that perfume one day. He gives it to her. Of course he does. Meanwhile, the police are getting nowhere. The cameras never catch the killer's face. They recover the murder weapon, but the fingerprints match nobody in the system. And then Sasha spots something, a brand new SUV parked near the tower on the night of the murder. New enough to have a dashboard camera pointed at the street, which means it may have recorded every person who walked past. She pushes further. She has never let go of Day, the man in the locked apartment, and her digging turns up something explosive. In the days before he died, Day was seen loitering near the building where Kunta lived. Day was a private detective, which means Day was following Kunta. Two dead men, one thread. She argues the cases are the same case. The chief agrees, merges the investigations, and splits his officers into two competing teams, warning Dulang that losing to a rookie will cost him his promotion. Sasha picks her own partner, a quiet and unusually sharp officer named Wen Song. Together, they track down the SUV and pull the dashcam footage. And there, walking past the camera on the night of the murder, is Lin Mo's face. They take that face to Ivy and ask if she has ever seen this man. Ivy, who had him standing in her shop that very same day, looks at the photograph and calmly says no. The next morning, the lab results come back. The fingerprints on the murder weapon belong to Lin Mo. At that exact moment, Lin Mo is back at the flower shop, and Ivy is pouring him a cup of homemade rose tea. He drinks it. She watches him drink it, and then she tells him, very calmly, that she mixed in a sedative with no taste and no smell. The room tilts, and Lin Mo goes down. He wakes up tied to a chair, and Ivy is not the fragile widow anymore. She is certain he killed her husband, and she threatens to hand him to the police. So Lin Mo tells her the truth, because it is the only card he has left. He is a crime scene sweeper. Criminals pay him to walk in after the killing is done, erase every trace, and reshape the scene until a murder looks like an accident. Kunta was already dead when he arrived. He never lifted a hand against her husband, and Ivy, slowly, hangs up the phone she had been pretending to speak into. She never called the police. She never intended to. Then a customer wanders in, and Ivy steps out to serve her. It takes Lin Mo about a minute to get free of the ropes. When Ivy comes back, the balance of power has flipped, and it is Lin Mo standing over her. He is about to start asking questions when the bell rings again. He chases the customer out and moves to lock the shop. And that is when Enchi appears at the door. His student, the shy transfer girl. He does not think twice. He lets her in. She attacks him instantly, and in the first 3 seconds of that fight, Lin Mo knows exactly who he is looking at. He recognizes the pattern of the blood spray from her blade work, the way it arcs across the walls, because he has seen it before. He saw it painted across the walls of the room where Kunta died. The awkward schoolgirl in his classroom is the assassin who murdered Kunta. The fight is brutal, and Lin Mo loses it. She takes him apart, drives him into a corner, and lifts the knife, and Ivy shoots at her. It is just enough. Lin Mo and Ivy escape into the streets and only lose the killer after a long chase through the city. When they finally stop running, Lin Mo tells Ivy who really murdered her husband and offers to take revenge together. But while they catch their breath, Sasha is pulling Ivy's history apart, and what she finds is horrifying. Ivy has been married 4 times, and Kunta was the 4th. Every husband was extremely wealthy, and every one of them died shortly after the wedding. The first 2 were ruled suicides. The 3rd died in a suspicious car accident, and now the 4th has been murdered. One woman could be tragically unlucky, but Sasha lays out 10 years of cases following the same pattern. And then she says out loud what nobody wants to hear. There are rumors inside the Central Police Department of a syndicate that recruits beautiful women, sends them to seduce lonely rich men, moves the fortunes into the women's names, and then hires killers to erase the husbands and dress the deaths up as accidents and suicides. The other officers laugh at her. There is no proof any such organization exists. They are laughing at the exact machine that has been running the city for a decade. Back in hiding, Lin Mo presses Ivy because he already knows she is tied to Smiley Face. Instead of denying it, she tells him her life. Her mother died when she was 14, and after that, she was completely alone. Then a man appeared with an offer that sounded like salvation, an acting agency, a future. All she had to do was perform in front of a camera. It was legitimate for exactly as long as it needed to be. Then they drugged her tea, assaulted her, and showed her the recording. Obey, or the whole world sees it. That is how a 14-year-old orphan became one of Smiley Face's most valuable weapons. Lin Mo asked the question he has been asking for years. Has she ever met Xiaolan, the leader of Smiley Face? She has not. Nobody has. Everything comes through phone calls. Xiaolan is a voice, and under all that composure, Lin Mo can hear rage. Years of it. This woman wants out of the syndicate as badly as he wants it burned down, so she demands the same honesty from him, and he gives it. He still works for Smiley Face, but only because it is the one place he can hunt a trail to Xiaolan. He tells her about Lao Yu and about how the syndicate murdered the only father he ever had and how they have now framed him for Kunta's death, which means they have decided he is finished too. Ivy agrees to work with him. She dresses his injuries and tells him how she met Kunta. Xiaolan engineered the entire encounter so precisely that it felt like fate. So Kunta would fall in love with her and hand her the world. And that is the part that does not fit. Because compared to Ivy's other husbands, Kunta was nothing. Even Ivy admits she found the assignment strange, but she did what she was told and asked no questions. The next morning, they are having breakfast when his nosy neighbor Annie turns up, takes one look at the beautiful woman in Lin Mo's home, and demands to know who she is. Lin Mo blandly explains that Ivy is a witness in a case, and then Sasha arrives because Sasha is done waiting. On her way up, she shares an elevator with a young woman she's never met. It is Anshi. The moment those doors open and Anshi sees Lin Mo, she attacks. The apartment turns into a war zone. She goes at Lin Mo, she goes at Sasha, and in the chaos, Sasha is thrown over the balcony rail, and only Lin Mo's hand keeps her from falling. Ivy fires shot after shot as Anshi escapes. And when it is over, Sasha handcuffs Lin Mo anyway. He is still the man on the dash cam. He is still the fingerprints on the knife. Ivy points a gun at her and tells her to let him go, and then the two of them explain everything. Lin Mo is being framed. He is hunting the real killer, and every piece of this leads back to a syndicate called Smiley Face. Sasha is not surprised, which surprises Lin Mo more than anything else in this case. She already knows the name. She has been chasing the same ghost from the other side, so she lets him go because she wants Xiaolan as badly as he does. Back at his hideout, Lin Mo starts building a plan to find Xiaolan before Xiaolan finishes both of them. They know how the man operates. He recruits women like Ivy to hollow out rich men, and he keeps cleaners like Lin Mo to erase the aftermath. But when it comes to the killing, Xiaolan only ever uses one assassin at a time. Before Anshi, there was a man called Mo, until Mo vanished and turned up dead, disposed of by his own employer. Then came Anshi, known in the underworld as the sushi maker because of what she can do with a blade. Every assassin has a signature, and the murder of Day, the private detective in the locked apartment, does not match Anshi's work at all, which leaves one chilling conclusion. Xiaolan killed Day with his own hands. They go back to Day's apartment and find it stripped bare, every stick of furniture hauled to the station by Dulang. It does not matter. Lin Mo walks the empty room and reads what is left in the air, and he finds the thing he missed. Day's phone had been soaked in the rain and stopped working, so he buried it in a sack of rice to dry out. But he never retrieved it because he realized his life was in danger and he needed to make a call right then with no phone. So he borrowed one from his landlady. She remembers that night because Day was frightened, but she has no idea who he called. That tells Lin Mo enough. A terrified man borrowing a stranger's phone does not look up a number. He dials one he knows by heart, or he dials an emergency line. He dials the police. And there it is. If Day called the police for help in the last hours of his life and was found hanging in a locked room the next day, then Xiaolan either has someone inside the police force or Xiaolan is the police. Lin Mo needs a witness, and the only witness to Day's murder has 4 legs, so he goes to Annie, because his strange, nosy neighbor has an ability nobody would believe if she told them. She can speak to animals. Together they reach out to Day's cat, and through the cat's memory of that night, Lin Mo learns 2 things about the man who came through that door. He was wearing a creepy, grinning, smiling mask, and he smoked menthol cigarettes. Lin Mo sends Annie to bring Sasha in while he and Ivy keep digging. Annie meets Sasha on a rooftop and casually mentions that she once had a conversation with Sasha's cat, which described its owner as a genuinely kind person. Sasha is stunned because this stranger knows things about her home that nobody could know. And then Annie tells her the part of Lin Mo's story he never tells anyone. When Lin Mo was 4 years old, his family moved from China to Thailand. They had money, they had a life. And then one night, men came into their home and murdered his father. His mother had seconds. She pushed her little boy into a closet, and before she shut the door, she told him one thing. Whatever happens to her, do not make a sound. Then she closed the door. And from inside that closet, a 4-year-old boy watched through the gap as his mother was murdered in front of him. And he did not move, and he did not scream, and he did not make a sound. He has been silent ever since, and he has been hunting ever since. That same night, someone breaks into the police station looking for Day's missing phone. An officer named Chen runs straight into the intruder, and they fight through the dark until the intruder tears free and escapes. But in the struggle, he gives away the hiding place he was searching, the sack of rice. And inside the rice, exactly as Lin Mo predicted, is Day's phone. When they unlock it, the case tilts sideways because it is full of photographs. Dozens of them taken in secret, all of them of Ivy. Dulang's conclusion is simple. Kunta hired Day to follow his wife because Kunta thought his wife was cheating. But Dulang has realized something else, and this one keeps him up at night. Whoever broke into the station New restricted routes through the building that only police personnel could know. There is a mole inside this department. Lin Mo reaches the same conclusion from the other direction because his own contacts tell him police records have been altered from inside the department's internal network. And then Sasha calls with the bomb. Her team has cracked Kunta's computer, and hidden inside it is a secret worth killing for. Kunta was the illegitimate son of Jiang Shuming, the richest man in Thailand, and his computer had been rigged to do one thing if he ever stopped using it. It automatically emailed the proof to every major media outlet in the country. By nightfall, the entire nation knows the murdered writer was the sole heir to one of the largest fortunes in Asia, which means with Kunta dead, exactly one person stands between that fortune and the world. His widow. Lin Mo confronts Ivy, and she does not bother to deny it. She knew. Xiao Lan knew. She knew Day was following her and who sent him. She still insists she has never met Xiao Lan, and she says she never wanted the inheritance anyway, because every bot of it would end up in Xiao Lan's hands regardless. But Lin Mo is looking at her differently now, and she can feel it. So she leaves, and then she does something nobody expects. Ivy walks into the police station and holds a press conference in front of every camera in Bangkok. She renounces her claim to Kunta's inheritance. She announces that Lin Mo has been framed. And then she blows the lid off Smiley face on live television, naming the syndicate that recruited her to seduce wealthy men and the man called Xiao Lan who runs it. She even says Xiao Lan is hiding inside the police force, then jokes that maybe it is Dulong. The whole room laughs and nobody takes that part seriously. Sasha and Lin Mo are talking about that same mole when her phone rings to say Ivy has already left the station, and when Lin Mo gets home that night, An-Chi is sitting in his apartment with a knife against Ivy's throat. Lin Mo tries to reach her. He tells her that he and Ivy are all the same thing, disposable tools Xiao Lan will throw away the moment they stop being useful. And she is not interested. Killing was never a job to her. She enjoys it. She drives the knife into Ivy and turns to finish Lin Mo. And Sasha comes through the door and puts her down. They rush Ivy to the hospital and the doctors save her life, which leaves one thing. The next day, Lin Mo goes to war. Using nothing but chemistry, he builds explosives and sets a fire inside the police station. The building empties in a panic, and while everyone pours into the street, Lin Mo moves through the chaos and gathers what he needs, and then he lets them arrest him. Because being dragged into that interrogation room was the plan all along. Before Dulan can start, Lin Mo makes one request. He wants a moment alone with Sasha and Wen Song. No cameras, no recordings, nothing running. Sasha switches everything off. Then Lin Mo asks her to leave, and to leave Wen Song behind. The door closes, and Lin Mo tells the quiet officer across from him that he knows exactly who he is. Wen Song is Xiaolan, the head of Smiley Face, the man who has been signing Lin Mo's paychecks in blood for years. Wen Song laughs and denies all of it. So Lin Mo lays the clues on the table one at a time. The first is the fingerprint report. Wen Song was the officer who personally reported the results to Sasha. Wen Song was the one who said the prints on the knife belonged to Lin Mo. Except Lin Mo's fingerprints were never on that knife. They could not have been. Because Lin Mo never leaves fingerprints anywhere. Before every job, he coats his hands with a substance that stops any print from transferring to any surface. It is the first thing a cleaner learns. So when a set of his fingerprints magically appeared on a murder weapon, someone had to have taken them from him. And that night, exactly one person touched Lin Mo's hands. The helpless old man in the wheelchair. The old man who stood up and walked the second Lin Mo drove away. The old man who then drew a knife. That was Wen Song. He lifted the prints, handed the weapon to An-Chi, and together they built a murder charge around a man who was only ever there to sweep the floor. The second clue is fibers from the crime scene that match the seat covers in Wen Song's car. Lin Mo says the lab will find 2 sets of DNA on them, Day's and Wen Song's. The third clue is the simplest, the smell of menthol cigarettes at the scene of Day's murder and a pack of menthol cigarettes sitting in Wen Song's desk drawer in that very building. Wen Song stops laughing. He tells Lin Mo he is extraordinary and admits he assumed right up until that moment that Lin Mo was bluffing with nothing but theory. And Lin Mo tells him he is right. There is no lab report. There is no proof. There is a microphone taped under the table. Sasha put it there before she walked out of the room. Wen Song rises and moves for the door, and when it opens, Sasha and half the department are standing in the corridor with their weapons trained on his chest. He does not run. He turns back, looks at Lin Mo one last time, and tells him the two of them are really not so different. And then, rather than be taken alive, Xiaolan ends his own life. Lin Mo is cleared, but Dulong still wants to know what a chemistry teacher was doing standing over a dead man in Shanghai Tower. So Lin Mo claims he is a private detective working under the authority of the great Tang Ren. Then he has to go and make that lie true, tracking Tang Ren down and talking him into taking on an apprentice purely so the alibi will hold. With that settled, Lin Mo and Sasha drive to the hospital to see Ivy, and on the way Sasha mentions a small detail in passing. Wen Song gave up smoking years ago because of a chronic lung condition. Wen Song did not smoke. Lin Mo goes cold because he built his entire trap on a pack of menthol cigarettes in a dead man's drawer, and now that clue has come loose in his hands. If Wen Song did not smoke, then whose cigarettes were those? And who was really standing in Day's apartment behind a smiling mask? They reach the hospital, and Ivy is gone. She checked herself out earlier that day and walked out into the city. Then the doctors mention one last thing, almost as an afterthought. Ivy is pregnant, and every piece slots into place in Lin Mo's mind at once. She played him. From the first cup of tea, from the first handkerchief, from the first tear she cried over her murdered husband, Ivy was using him. She used him to hunt down Xiaolan because Xiaolan was the only person standing above her. Smiley Face was never Wen Song's empire alone. Ivy was there the whole time, in the dark behind him, running the parts nobody could see. And she managed Wen Song the way she managed every man in her life, because he was hopelessly in love with her and would have done anything she asked. Lin Mo did not destroy the Syndicate. He removed its ceiling, and the last piece plays out on a television screen as Tang Ren watches the news announce that the immense fortune of Zheng Shiming will pass to a single heir, not to the widow who publicly refused it in front of the entire country. To the child she is carrying, she never needed the inheritance. She only needed a son. And somewhere across the city, Lin Mo stops walking because one final detail has surfaced out of the darkest part of his memory. A memory from inside a closet when he was 4 years old, watching through a gap in the door, the tattoo on Ivy's skin. He has seen it before. It is the same tattoo that was on the person who murdered his mother. So the moral of the story is never trust a chemistry teacher who can smell your lies, fake your suicide, solve murders, build bombs, talk to ghosts, and still somehow get manipulated by a perfume girl with mommy issues.